Oh my god, is that full diamond armor? Oh my god, is that golden gas? Oh my god.
There are a lot of people out there who cheat on their Minecraft speedruns, and some of them are hilarious. But here are some of the funniest fake Minecraft speedruns. This speedrunner starts off spawning in a plains biome. He gets some wood and makes himself some wooden tools. He then explores around and finds a floating chicken that he obviously spawned in himself, and immediately decides to dig in this specific block to end up finding a mineshaft. But this is where he messes up. He opens a chest and he forgot to put anything inside of it at all, which is actually impossible unless he manually changed the chest himself. He then decides to change his plan and go back up to the surface, where he ends up inside of a desert temple, and he decides he's going to loot it. He then falls on top of the pressure plate, and there is a very obvious cut to where he most likely removed the TNT. In these chests there was some pretty usual stuff that doesn't seem too fake to me, but then he runs out of the temple and is in a completely different place to before, so he obviously just cut the video and changed to a separate temple. He manages to find a floating island with a chest on it, and inside of it was some iron tools as well as a flint and steel, which is actually impossible to find. The runner then makes his way to a ruined portal that only has one block of obsidian missing, and inside of the chest next to it was literally that one block that he needed. Once he's in the nether, he just runs around for a bit and manages to find a chest on top of a floating island. It just has a single ender pearl in it, which can help him make some eyes of end. No, why did he just throw it? Okay, come on, there's no way that just happened. The runner continues on and finds a blaze spawner and kills some blazes to get some of the blaze rods. As he's looking for his way out the fortress, he finds a chest with just one fire resistance potion, which again is impossible, but for some reason he uses it to jump into some lava. And okay, seriously, there's no way he didn't just cut that. At this point, the runner still needs to get some ender pearls, but he's back in the overworld. He then finds a cave which has a minecart and rails leading down. Why is this happening? The runner then places some eyes of ender using these ender pearls that have magically appeared in his inventory, and then in the end he tries to get across into the main island but fails terribly. I'll give this guy a 6 out of 10 because I think it was creative. This next runner spawns in and is inside a village, and as you can see there's 2 different blacksmiths, which must be very lucky. And inside of these chests were far too many diamonds and an impossible amount of obsidian. Once he looted those chests, he started typing in chat, which is never a good sign in the speedrun, because he says he needs to go for dinner and his parents were calling him. And then the screen goes black to where he now comes back in a completely different area, where there is now a plains village, which is definitely not the same as the desert village he was in before. And this guy tries to act surprised. He then makes his way into a cave and he came back to being above the stronghold. He does another type of cut where he's now inside the portal room and he places the eyes and kills the ender dragon in creative. I'll give this guy a 4 out of 10. It was really obvious. The next runner has a normal spawn. He gets some wood and makes himself a wooden sword. He then finds an emerald cow. This guy really has a texture pack on. So he kills the... Wait, what? He changed the drops of the cows to give him some diamonds and a lot of them. This guy really is insane. He then makes himself some full diamond armor and diamond tools, which must be one of the world records for the fastest time to get full diamond armor in a totally legit speedrun. The runner then jumps into this lava pool and there's just a very weird looking stronghold that is obviously made by him. He goes into his inventory to get some eyes of ender and then realizes he doesn't actually have any. So I'm guessing he just forgot to add the files to the cows, or he maybe just forgot to kill another animal. He then makes his way into the nether where he finds a blaze spawner to hopefully get some more blaze rods. Oh, why is he running away? Okay, seriously? You're changing the wither skeletons textures as well. And what are the chances they drop OP stuff too? Okay, yeah, that wasn't too predictable. He then runs around and kills some red wither skeletons to get all of the eyes of ender he needs, and then goes back into the overworld to find a stronghold. But he actually turns out to just go under the lava because there's end portal frames there. The runner once in the end goes to the main island and just pulls out this god bow, which I don't remember him getting at any point in this run. And these enchants are literally only possible by doing it by commands, and he also has Aqua Affinity on there, which definitely doesn't belong on a bow. The fight was also very easy for him as he just bows the dragon once and it dies. I'll give this run a 7 out of 10, not because it was subtle, but because he went through all the effort of going into the game's code. This guy spawns in and is doing the every boss speedrun, meaning he has to kill every single boss. He's on an island and then swims towards a shipwreck. He gets some pretty good things and also gets a treasure map. He then goes back to the island and finds this massive boat. Like, it isn't even in the game. The runner then sails around to find an ocean monument, but ends up finding a hole into this cave where there's just an elder guardian. Yeah, that is impossible. Once killing the elder guardian, he finds an abandoned portal that only has 2 blocks missing, and there's just enough in the chest nearby. That must be pretty lucky. He has to try and get into the portal but struggles because there's so much water everywhere. But he ends up having to use doors and then manages to get into the nether. The runner makes his way into a fortress where he finds a single floating villager that has a trade for ender pearls for only 64 netherrack. This has to be fake. The runner then mines some netherrack and trades with the villager to get all of the ender pearls that he needs. And then once he looks around, there's also a button that just gives him looting 3 on his sword, something that would definitely help him kill the wither skeletons. He gets all of the skulls needed and then spawns in the wither where he actually tries typing in some commands but ends up dying. He actually failed to cheat. He is terrible. He gets back to where the wither is and has so much absorption that like you can barely even see the wither. And he's now got some armor which he didn't previously have. Once killing the wither, he goes back to the overworld and makes his way into a stronghold. But once he finds the portal, but he doesn't actually have the ender pearls or blaze rods, as he must have forgot to pick them up from his dead body. And then he does this very obvious cut to where he can now fill the portal and makes his way into the end, where he actually ends up dying somehow. Like, surely you have to do better than that. I'll give this speedrun a 5 out of 10. It was pretty average. This speedrun starts off with the runner getting some stone and then some iron. He goes deeper into the mine and then gets some redstone, and he makes a redstone pickaxe. Bro, seriously? The runner then finds some diamonds and makes himself some diamond tools to then mine some obsidian to get into the nether. Wait, why is he trying to craft obsidian gear? Okay, this guy really is using a mod to get gear from literally any item. The runner then gets into the nether and then finds a fortress where the runner kills some very weird looking blazers because they literally aren't fighting him back, and the wither skeletons aren't even trying to kill him. Like, what even is happening? This can't be real. Once going to the bastion, he finds a chest with a whole stack of bedrock. Okay, did he really place that manually, or did he just get that from a mod? He then starts trading with some of the piglins and also makes full bedrock armor. Just look at the stats that these give. They're so much better than netherite. This is too funny. And while the piglins were trading, he tries to kill them using a flint and steel and doesn't realize this actually burns all the items as well. And then once back in the overworld, he runs to the stronghold and suddenly has 16 ender pearls. I'm not sure how he even got them, but wow. And then once in the end, he can literally fly around in survival. This is very weird. I'll give this speedrun an 8 out of 10. I really liked how he made bedrock armor. This final guy spawns in and already has some XP, so we know it's fake. He also spawns in a village next to a blacksmith and manages to get, just a repeater. I'm not sure if he did this on purpose, but it definitely won't help him in this run. He then makes his way to another village where there is another blacksmith, and he loots it to find a ton of obsidian and diamonds. Just a classic fake speedrun so far. He then gets some hay and then goes into the nether. Once in the nether, he finds an abandoned portal, which people usually don't go for, as it's usually out of their way, but I guess this guy just did. Inside of the chest, there was literally just tons of netherite blocks, which, if you haven't already guessed, makes this run very fake. Then gets to the fortress and finds a chest with a netherite axe with only sharpness 1. Like, it doesn't even prove the item that much. And then when he was running to the blaze spawner, there was just a load of grass blocks surrounding the spawner, which literally has no reasoning at all. He kills some blazers and then goes to a bastion where he finds this button, and this literally gives him ender pearls every time he presses it. This is very OP. He just keeps on pressing it until he has all the ender pearls that he needs, and then makes his way back to the overworld. Once in the overworld, the runner just finds another village and goes inside one of the houses to find a fully working enchantment table that can do level 30 enchants. Bro, he manually placed this as well. And inside of the chest next to it is literally just bottles of XP, as well as the lapis that is needed for enchanting. He makes his diamond armor and then makes that into netherite and enchants it to get some pretty decent enchants, which will hopefully help him in the ender dragon fight. The runner then runs outside and literally just starts digging straight down. They say don't dig straight down in Minecraft, but who cares when the stronghold is literally straight underneath you? What is this guy doing? Seriously. He gets into the end and towers up using some netherite blocks, and then just goes into creative. He literally just gave up at this point and couldn't be bothered to keep on going. Also, he pretends like he was going to kill the ender dragon in survival, but just doesn't. I'll give this speedrun a 7 out of 10. Not because it was good or anything, but just because I feel bad for how low his frame rate is.